Hey, Chris.
Hey, what?
Do you remember that we're recording this on the 21st night of September?
No.
And that this podcast was changing the mind of all the trophy pretenders to remind them that I have more trophies than you. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and our friends beyond the binary. Do you like that? I picked that
I
up.
like
from
that.
I stole that from another podcast.
Hell yeah.
Okay, we're gonna steal that.
We're not.
Welcome to what?
I was gonna say we're not above stealing things from other podcasts.
Absolutely not. We're absolutely gonna steal from other podcasts.
That's how you get ahead in this world.
Yeah, plagiarism. Baby.
Use every advantage you can.
Welcome to I Have More Trophies Than You, a podcast about video games and the different ways that people play them. I am one of your hosts. My name is Dr. Ryan.
For a second, I was like, I wonder if he'll actually say his name or not. My name is Chris. Hello.
Why would I not say my name?
Like, I thought you were just going to be like, I'm one of your hosts. Silence. Oh, I don't know. It's one of those days for me. I'm just.
Is it just one of those days where you don't want to wake up?
I'll see. Now I'm going to have to put that in too.
Welcome to the music episode. Should we just not do the game we were going to do and just talk about like Rock Band?
Could you imagine though? Like
Def Jam, let's just like Def Jam Rap Star.
Dude, those games are so good though. I used to rent almost said Def Jam V for Vendetta. Was it Def Jam Vendetta?
No, that was the wrestling game. I'm talking about the one that was just like sing it, but it was Def Jam.
Oh, okay.
You could do any rap song they had, and then you could use your camera and you could upload your own music videos if you like doing rapping.
Why is nobody doing that on Twitch today? Like, why isn't there's somebody?
DMCA, brother.
Sure. But it's
Yeah.
Damn. Man, Twitch got to ruin all the fun. Maybe the music industry is more of that fault, but like.
Yeah. It's not Twitch's fault. It is the recording industry. What's the Recording Industry Artists of America?
Something. I should know this because I got an email from Twitch today being like, "Oh, we've come to an agreement with the whatever music company."
Have they really? I didn't get that.
Yeah, it was just they told us what we can and can't do. We just said okay. So yeah, that's exactly what an agreement.
It's not. We had a discussion. It's they said what we can do, and we just went. I guess that's what we got to do. So. Hey, I want to make a firm stance. We here at I Have More Trophies Than You. Fuck the RIAA.
Yeah, fuck them all. Like,
is that what it's? Wait, I want to make sure we. RIAA. Is it? Yeah, the Recording Industry Association of America.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Fuck them.
Fuck them and their stupid acronym name that we can't even remember.
Fuck them. But you know who we do like? That's Gamefly.com.
Dude, Gamefly.
Gamefly, hit us up. Get us that sponsorship. We don't want to be affiliates. We want to be sponsored.
Yeah. We want a full sponsor. We want to hang that banner.
I want to be courted by Gamefly. I want them to be like, we think you're good enough.
Yeah. Gamefly, we're still waiting. It's okay. Like, we're in it for the long haul.
Olive Garden can also sponsor us.
Yeah, Olive Garden, we're cool with that too. I don't want
every episode, we should just add one more person we're okay being sponsored by.
Can we get sponsored by like a gas station? Because I would love cheaper gas right now.
Chevron,
BP.
They got
Shell?
Techron. No. Chevron only.
Only. Okay.
BP bad. They did the oil spill.
I think they've all done oil spills at this point.
Chevron did? Oh yeah,
probably.
Mexico did a big one. I don't think Chevron's. Hey, whoever pays us the most, we'll forget about your oil spill.
That's how it works. You know what? I'm not above it. Yeah, pay me money.
Yeah. Pay me money. Pay me my money.
Ryan, what have you been playing lately?
Oh, I've been playing some games. You haven't been playing a lot of games because you went to GenCon.
Yeah.
Well, I pull up my list of games. Do you want to talk about GenCon really quick?
Yeah, totally. I did just come back from GenCon. The post-con, like, I wouldn't say that's always like the top of the term.
It's a malaise. It's just like a blah. I had the same thing, if you couldn't tell last episode, coming back from PAX.
Yeah, which it's so funny that like we're in the same turnaround as we were in the last one, because I was like, oh man, of course, GenCon is, it was last week.
least
us,
this time we're not talking about a shit ass game that's going to just make us all feel terrible. Like,
That's
we're talking
true.
about good games this time. But do you see anything good at GenCon?
Yeah, it was just like a really weird GenCon though, because all the big companies pulled out. But
you don't say.
Right, yeah, but like the cool thing was all the like there was just way more indie, so it felt like indie GenCon, like which is odd because it's in indie, but yeah, like it was indie GenCon and indie, and it was kind of cool. Like I tried out a lot of cool games. I finally got around to trying this wrestling like TCG that like I've seen it. You know, I saw it at PAX a couple of years ago. I saw it at GenCon a couple of years ago when cons were still happening. And I finally like got around to sitting down and trying a demo, and I'm sold. I'm so in on it. It's such a just dumb fun game. It's called a SRG Super Show, I think. I don't know. Like the name is really weird. It's like SRG Universe Super Show or something.
See, I'm going to be biased and say that nothing will ever be better than WWE Raw Deal. So
that's true. Like I saw people playing Raw Deal this weekend actually, but I don't know. Like the energy that team brings to their game made me want to try it out. So because like when you would do the demo, you'd sit down and it was like me and my friend Shane. We were sitting there playing, and whenever you get to like the part where you're either going to win or lose, you're pinning your opponent, like you would have to roll a dice basically against each other. And I rolled mine. I hit like a perfect. I was going to get this pin. And then he rolled first roll. He missed. And then you just hear the dude doing the demo just one. And he hit the table. And then like second roll miss. Two. Third one miss. Three. And then he like rings a bell. And is just like the winner of this match by pinfall, you know. And it was just like, oh my God, like just screaming in the hall. Yeah, it was a lot of, like that was the whole team the whole time. They were like in costume, like doing their thing. They had like a Vince McMahon of their group and stuff. It was awesome, like super fun. Like check out that game. It's not the most, I don't know, it's like mid-price, but like it's super fun. It's super fast and easy to play. There's a couple other things we play. Vagrant's Song was a cool game that I really want to check out, but it was like limited to 20 copies a day, and I was just like, yeah, I'll buy it online. Like I don't
did you buy that Fast and Furious game?
I almost did.
You didn't? You fucking traitor.
It's because like it's
Chris texted me a picture of a Fast and Furious board game and said, should I buy this? I was like, yeah, if you got friends to play with, you should totally buy it. And then this fucker didn't buy it.
See, if you would have said if you've got family to play it with, I'd be like, see, we're on it. But no, no, I almost did. But my biggest trepidation with it was it's done by Funko.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, and that's where I'm just like, you know, I'm not a big Funko Pop person, but like, and even like their games that they've shown, because I've seen them around at a couple conventions, they're not like the most, I just need a little bit more than just your basic like $20 Target board game aisle game.
Most board games are that are like licensed shit. It's like,
right.
They pick some very easy idea and it's like, I'm going to put Rick and Morty on it.
Yeah, and that was my biggest fear with it, but after kind of watching them demo it looks like it might have a little bit more to it, and the stylized, like, you know, because they use the character, like when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, you could play as Roman in this game. I kind of want to buy this now.
Can you be Han? Can you be Han?
I'm pretty certain you could be Han. I think you can be almost anyone.
You let me down by not buying this game. All right.
I think I am probably going to get it online now, because like I keep thinking about it and I'm like, it looked like it actually had like mechanics to it. I loved the stylization of how everything looked. And I was just like, you know,
well, you can save this for your board game podcast. I have more Agricola pieces than you or whatever.
I've got more meeple than you.
Yeah. Do you play any video games?
No. I have. Oh,
wow!
Actually,
it's a video game podcast.
I did. I can actually tag back to something I mentioned in the last episode.
Oh,
remember how I was talking about my epic fishing quest to get these
did you
like
get all the
legendaries? I finished it last night at 3 a.m. My window was open.
What was the final fish?
It was like Shaunosaurus or something like that. It was something in Corthus.
That's not a real fish. That's not a real fish. You're making fish up. Well, congratulations, you did it.
Yeah, I did it. I got my title. I didn't feel anything when I finished it, and that was the most upsetting thing. Like I was just like,
welcome to trophy hunting. You don't feel anything sometimes. You're just like, I did it. It's over, and all you feel is contempt that it took up your time, and then you move on to the next thing. Welcome to being just fucking fucked up like I am. By the way, I looked up what you put this under on iTunes, and you put that we're family friendly. I say fuck a lot.
I mean, that could be a family. I think if you're family friendly enough, you can say fuck a couple times. I don't think the kids are going to get too upset.
Well, we don't say we never talk about people fucking, but we talk about go fuck yourself.
I think that's the difference in swearing, is that as long as you're not like,
I think swearing is cool, and it makes hey, if you're listening to this and you're a child, number one, why? But number two, hey, my name's Dr. Ryan. I'm a doctor, and I want to let you know, swearing makes you cool.
It does. Despite what your teachers say, just say, hey, fuck you. And then they'll be like, that's a cool kid.
When I was in third grade, it was the first day of school in third grade, and my parents allowed me to watch Blazing Saddles.
Oh, man.
I was that young because they were just like, it's Mel Brooks. He's fine. Yeah. And I told my teacher to blow it out her ass. I got in trouble. Anyway, this last episode, I've gotten 28 new platinums.
Jeez, hell yeah. What'd you get?
I was at 799 last time, and now I'm at 827. So here's the list. Number one, my 800 platinum overall. Today's spoilers, we're talking about Hades. I did platinum Hades.
Hell yeah.
Then I got the platinums in Virtuous Western on PS4 and PS5. That was whatever little Western themed puzzle game. It was fun. I did platinum Reverie. Did you play that Reverie game that I told you to play?
No. I've been at GenCon.
Disappointment. I did platinum Reverie again. That's a great game. You should play it. It only takes a couple hours, and it's a lot like The Link to the Past. You should play it. I also double platinumed High School Romance, which is one of those little dating novels that they sell because you can look at boobs. Not really. This is a lesbian high school kissing simulator. Whatever. It takes like 5 minutes.
That reminds me.
Did you play more of Boyfriend Dungeon? Is that what you want to talk about?
No, we bought a tabletop RPG that's like
a dating simulator?
No, well, maybe a little bit, but it's like it's the whole premise is lesbian like princesses that with swords that fight, and I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. I don't remember what it's fucking called, but it was really beautiful art, and we were like, oh hell yeah. 2 new
games in the Break series came out. That's right. We now have the platinums to Oktoberfest Break and Oktoberfest Break head to head. Your ball's like a pretzel. We platinumed Baseball Bout Honorific Arcade. We have the double platinum Glow. I platinumed that. I Expect You to Die Too. That game, the VR game I talked about last time. Do you remember that I was telling you about that?
Yeah. How was that?
It was really good. My only complaint is that Will Wheaton is the voice of the main villain.
Oh, yeah. You're kind of stuck with his voice for 10, 20 hours?
No, I platinumed it in like a day and a half. So I'd say 5 or 6. It's not very long. $25 seems a little much, but it's VR, so I understand. Plus, they put some money into it. Like, they did have to pay that fucker. And, they did, the whole James Bond opening credit sequence, and it's sung by Puddle's Pity Party. Do you know that clown guy on YouTube?
I do not. He's going to look it up.
He's like a sad clown man that does sad versions of songs. Anyway, thanks to our friends at Gamefly, I did platinum Spirit Lucky's Big Adventure. That is a horse-based, DreamWorks horse-based writing game where you're a girl on a horse. We did get the platinum in ZJ the Ball Level 5, of course, made by our good friends at Breakthrough Gaming, which is, I'm pretty sure it's a Christian cult. I can't be too sure.
I feel like you could just be making these names up at this point now. Just what the fuck is going on?
I did get my 4th overall platinum in Control. I platinumed the European PS5 version of Control. So now we have the American PS4, the Japanese PS4, the American PS5, the European PS5, and I still have the Japanese PS5. And if I really wanted to go nuts, I could then also import the PS4 Japanese copy of the Ultimate Edition so that I could get the DLC I was never able to get, so I can have every single Control trophy. We should probably talk about Control sometime in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely.
I platinum Poker Pretty Girls Battle Fantasy World Edition and Poker Pretty Girls Battle Texas Hold'em on the PS4 and the PS. So that's 3 pretty girl poker games. That's a series of games made by a company that literally they just make the shit easiest games. And then the only difference is they put big booby anime girls on them, but whatever, it's $4 for a free platinum. I platinumed a game called The Explorer of Night. I platinumed Overcooked All You Can Eat. I platinumed Jigsaw Finale. A Day Without Me. Dojo Ran on the PS4 and PS5. Deathloop. We platinumed Deathloop, and the platinum was my 25,000th trophy.
Holy shit.
We also platinumed Bisoju Battle Cyber Panic. That's from the same people who made the Pretty Poker. And that's, do you know that game, Quick QIX?
No, I don't.
You're trying to draw a line across the screen to like make boxes.
Oh,
before, like,
okay.
Touch the line.
Yeah,
it's that, but there's boobs. And we also platinumed Earth Marines, was a shitty game, and Alveoli, which was some shitty puzzle game. Those are the plats. I've also put work into Metagal, the Japanese Vita physical version, which Metagal is this little Mega Man ripoff. The platinum, you can get the platinum in 5 minutes because all you have to do is beat the first level. Except this Japanese import physical version, which I thought would be easy, is actually you have to beat the fucking game. Turns out it's a really hard, not well made clone of Mega Man.
No.
So I've got 2 more levels. It's fucking hard. I also have started The Walking Dead: The Telltale Definitive Series. It's where you play all 4 games plus the Michonne DLC for 1 platinum, but I figured it'd be fun to do like 1 chapter a day until October.
Oh, there you go.
Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle, which is a clone of a puzzle game called Slayaway Camp, but you can be Jason. I've done everything but 1 trophy where you have to do their daily puzzle for 13 days in a row, and I'm 3 days in, so I'll have that by next episode. And then my friends got me to re-download Destiny 2, so I'm going to try for the platinum in that this season. I just need to do the Grandmaster Nightfall, which is apparently pretty hard, but hey, Destiny 2 is fun. I like the good shooting. Currently at rank 104 in the country, 687 over the world, 857 rank, 827 platinums, 25,108 overall trophies, averaging 7.02 trophies per day. I am unstoppable.
Jeez. There's no end. Like,
oh, it ends when I die. I make the joke, but I want to have it put in my will that when I die, I want my tombstone to say, like, here lies Dr. Ryan Michael Reed, whatever, achieved blank platinums on the PSN trophy system in his lifetime.
They just put like your like the short bar for your PSN profiles. It's like this many platinums, this many golds, this many silvers.
No, that's a way smarter idea. Just have that inscribed. It's by the time that here's the thing. Either I'm never going to die because we'll have reached a singularity and I'll just not die and I'll live forever as a robot. Or when I die, they'll be able to like put like a video screen. So I'll just have it like a constant link to my PSN profile so you can scroll down and look at every game I play.
You know, that you mentioned that the singularity. Do you think we'll meet the singularity by like our lifespan, like the end of our lives?
Man, I really want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to die.
Man, see that? Oh man, we could have like a whole philosophical debate, or not debate, but like discussion on this, because like I don't know, like I feel like there's got to be an end point, right?
Oh, when the world explodes in like 50 billion years, sure.
But do you want to be around for that?
We'll just go to another planet.
Yeah, and we'll destroy that planet too.
And then the eventual heat death of the universe will happen, and everything will die, and it'll be a big crunch, and then the world will restart again, and then we'll just have this conversation cyclical forever.
It's the Matrix. We're just in the next iteration of it.
Do you think that it's a cyclical thing? I assume that what actually happens is that every time that there is a big bang, there's a big crunch at the end, and then everything reforms. And just this time around, hey, life happened on this planet. Maybe next time Earth won't be around. There won't be an Earth. That'll be somewhere else, and it'll be some other thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who can say? This hurts my brain. Let's talk about video games.
Yeah. let's talk about another fiery death, right?
Yeah. You want to talk about what happens when you die? Welcome to the game for this episode. Let's talk about Hades.
Oh man, I'm so ready. This is what we've been wanting to talk about since like day one. Like, yeah, I'm excited.
You were like, you need to play this game, and I was like, I'll get around to it. And then I played this game. I was like, oh shit, I get why people like this game.
It's so fucking great, right? It's fantastic. Game of the year. For
those unaware, can I retroactively go back and say this is probably the game of the year last year?
See, I think that's totally fair to do. I think,
you know what though? I don't know.
That's totally fair.
Honestly. So my game of the year last year was a tie between Ghost of Tsushima and Yakuza Like a Dragon. And I think at this point I would just call it a 3-way tie because I don't think I could pick between those 3.
Yeah, that's tough. Like the more I'm, because we're starting to round out the end of this year. And
if you put a gun to my head right now And taking recency bias into this, I still think the best game of 2020 was probably Yakuza Like a Dragon.
That's my point. Is like we were actually talking about the video game awards in Discord the other day, because it's like, what came out this year? It's like, it's kind of been a sparse year. I think there's more some stuff coming, but I
know what games I would call game of the year this year, and thankfully, hey, spoiler, you won't have to guess, because our last episode of the year is going to come out on December 31st.
Yep.
And guess what? We're doing a game of the year episode. We're going to talk about our games of the year. We're going to give out awards for like best whatevers. And we're just going to have a little 2021 retrospective. So
it's going to be
if you want to know what game you think should be game of the year, just let us tell you what it should be.
Yeah. And then you won't have to think about it. We'll think about it for you.
Yeah. We're the nostalgia critics, and we remember it so you don't have to. We just joined Channel Awesome.
Oh, do you think we could join? Would we want to, guys, if we had the opportunity?
Guys, we just left Channel Awesome.
Oh no! What? Short-lived, but hey, we take our reign and we move it somewhere else.
I was okay with it, and then they're like, you got to do a skit with Melvin, brother of the joke. I wash my hands of it. I take my winnings and I leave. I came here with nothing. All right, Hades.
Welcome.
God, what's great
to
about
hell.
Hades is that there's a PS5 version of Hades. I can go get this platinum again if I wanted to. I don't want to right now, but I could later.
Did you play it on PS4?
Yeah, I got the PS4 physical copy.
Oh, right on. For some reason, I thought you were playing PS5.
Well, no, because it's got a free upgrade, but the PS5 version doesn't upgrade to PS4. So.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's not an auto pop, so I would have to play it again.
Mm-hmm. Would you? Are you going to?
Maybe not anytime. Maybe like next year.
Yeah.
That's how I mostly do games like this, where it's like you can play it twice. It's like, like Persona 5. I played Persona 5 when it came out in 2017, and then in 2019 is when, or 2020. When did fucking Royal come out? Was it 19 or 20? It was 2020.
Yeah, it was 2020.
And then I played the European version this year when I was sick with my COVID shot. When I got the second COVID shot, I was like, I'm fucked up. I decided, just as a comfort thing, to start Persona 5, the European version. I was like, yeah, it's been a year. I can play it again.
Yeah.
So that's all I'll do. Hades. Sometime next year, there'll be nothing to play. I was like, I could play Hades again.
I do remember the picture of you laying on the floor, wrapped up in a blanket with Persona 5 on the TV.
That's a good picture. When you do the eventual like clip out for Twitter, I want you to have that clip and then put that picture of me, and then there you go.
Perfect.
And then that's one of our previews. Anyway, let's talk about Hades now. Hades is a very, very good roguelite. I looked up the difference. It's not a roguelike. It's a roguelite.
What are the differences? Let's inform me on this, because like I just call them both the same. So
Rogue was a game on the original like some computer, right?
Yeah, and probably like Commodore or something
like that. So a roguelike is a game that was like Rogue in that there is nothing persistent between runs. And it's procedurally generated. So it's start the game. You got to make it to the end. If you don't, you start over from scratch. There's no persistent upgrades. There's no, skill trees. There's nothing. It's every run is fresh. Every run is new, and no run has any bearing on the next one.
Right.
A roguelite is a game like Hades, where still a procedural generated. It's run based, but you can get some currency to make, runs in the future different.
Okay. That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. So Hades, being a roguelite, is a game where you are Zagreus, the prince of the underworld, and you're like, you know what? Fuck the underworld. And you just got to break out. And your dad, Hades, the god of the dead's like, fuck, no. That's the game.
Yep, pretty much. That's... that's the thing I've been trying to work in my head all day. Like, how are we going to talk about this story? Oh yeah, it's you just kind of want to get out of hell and you can't.
The thing is, like, I started playing this game for the first time on a stream with you.
Yeah, and
it was like, yeah, there's a story here. It's like, I don't know who my mother is. It's like his mother's probably Persephone, the wife of Hades. Also, the pomegranates are upgrades. That's a sign of Persephone.
Yep.
And this whole time Zachary is like, who could my mother be? And I'm like, all right, this story is, I mean, they did write a really good narrative story about like people dealing with each other, but like the actual story is very simple. It's, hey, get out of hell and your mom's up there. Go meet Persephone. I don't know how much more we can talk about that. I want to talk about the game and the mechanics and everything, but like story wise,
I mean, that's it though. There's
Hades,
more to it. Like there
is Hades is mostly a roguelike, but it's also got a little bit of like that Persona 5.
Yeah, like that dating sim. Yeah.
Not so much. Well, I guess, you can date in it.
Social links. That's
okay.
Yeah.
I know we're going to start this. Here's how Hades works. Hades is a run-based roguelike game. 2.5, isometric view. The idea is that you need to get through 4 levels of hell: Tartarus, Asphodel, Elysium, and Styx. If you make it through all 4, you get to fight the final boss, that's Hades, and if you make it out, you progress a story. Every time that you either die or make it out, you go back to the House of Hades, which is where like, the kingdom of hell. It's where like Hades has his throne. And while you're there are many characters from Greek mythology to talk to, and you can progress social trees to elicit stories based on Greek tales. There's also a lot of cool upgrades you can do to upgrade powers, to upgrade the game itself, to upgrade weapons, because there's different weapon types and everything. And so it is a loop of go into the game, play the game, get either upgrades for that persist or upgrades just for the run, die or win, and then make it back and have a little fun experience talking to people like Nyx, the embodiment of night. You can talk to Achilles. You can talk to Medusa. Her name is Dusa. They got Megara. They got all these other things. And so, Orpheus is there. You can go out and meet Sisyphus. You can meet Eurydice. Like, there's all these people. And also, you can meet all of the Greek gods because they're how you get your powers for each run.
Right.
And so that's the loop. The
gameplay loop. Oh no. See,
we'll talk about that game later. Here's what I really like about Hades. It's a very, very simple game when you think about it, but at the same point, because of the boon system and the different weapons, it is very complex. So here's a basic rundown of how the game works gameplay wise. Every room that you go into or encounter here's the deal. You got a room, some enemies are going to pop up, you need to kill them all to get out. There's 6 different weapons in the game. You pick one before you go on a run. There's a sword, a spear, a shield, a bow, like gauntlets, and a gun. And I'd say 5 of those weapons are pretty good, and 1 is complete dog shit.
Which one is your least favorite?
That gun sucks.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on the gun either. My wife's really into it, but yeah, I can never. I was always just like, I'd just rather use the bow.
Here's my stack rank of all of the weapons. Are you ready? Number 1 weapon. And this is dependent on, okay, we should really talk about the upgrade system. So, yeah, we're going to jump around a little bit. So there's a lot of persistent like currencies that you can get out in the game. You can get darkness, which is what you use at your mirror of night, which is how you get like personal upgrades. Like you can start the game with more health. You can start the game with more money. You can get buffs that like, my favorite buff on that mirror is that anytime that you inflict 2 status effects on an enemy, they take 40% more damage. That's how it's fucking people up.
Yeah.
You can get gemstones. Gemstones are how you buy things to upgrade the House of Hades. And you can either upgrade things that help you on runs, like there's upgrades that every time you pick up gemstones, you'll get some money. Or every time you pick up a key, which we'll talk about keys in a second, you get some other things. Or you can also just buy cosmetics. Like you can buy a new couch for the lounge. You can buy a poster of Aphrodite for your bedroom.
Right.
So gemstones are pretty fun. Then you got keys. Keys are used to unlock new weapons and also to unlock more options on the Mirror of Night that you can spend your darkness on. And then you've got nectar, which is what you use to do the social links. The way that you upgrade your social links is you give them nectar and you talk over drinking it. Then you've got the big 3 upgrade systems. You've got Titan's Blood, Diamonds, and ambrosia. Diamonds are used for buying the best upgrades from the house contractor. You can use diamonds to buy the diamonds, you can buy some pretty like fucking good things like the Erebus gates or some pretty good like upgrades. You can also use those to like finish quests. The ambrosia is what you use to get to the end of somebody's social link. Like once you have given them enough nectar, they'll have a quest for you to do. And if you do that, you give them ambrosia afterwards, and then you can become best friends with them. But the most important one is Titan Blood. Titan Blood is how you upgrade your weapons. Because once you've played enough, all 6 weapons have different aspects. And so you can unlock and upgrade new aspects with the Titan Blood so that the weapons do different things. Case in point, one of my favorite weapons, the bow, it's got, oh shit, man, I'm terrible at this. We should talk about how the combat in this game. Combat is very simple. You have one button to attack, you have one button to do a special, and you have one button to do a cast, and you have one button to do a dash. That's it.
And then you also have a summon. Eventually. Okay. Or, well, you can pick it up if you want. But.
When we talk to the boons, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But basically, everything has a normal attack and a special attack. The cast is you throw out a bloodstone, and it does damage, and then as you get boons, it does other things, and then you can dash. And I spend most of the game dashing and attacking or using my special. So, like, with the bow, the attack is you can hold it, you can draw a bow back, you get a little thing on the ground, and if you let go of it when it flashes, you do extra damage. The special is you do like a wave of arrows that it's like a short range to get rid of like a lot of enemies in a row.
Yeah.
However, the bow has an upgrade aspect where if you put Titan Blood in this thing, now if you shoot somebody with a normal arrow, now all of your special arrows home in on them.
Oh, jeez.
So you can get some really crazy things. So the Titan Blood lets you upgrade these different aspects that change the way that you play entirely. I didn't start really beating the game. I beat the game once, and then you started unlocking these different aspects. And then that's when I started really being able to beat the shit out of the game once I got these weapons with these aspects that really gelled with me. Yeah. And I got to say, out of the 6 weapons, my 2 favorite are the bow and the fists.
I like the bow a lot. I like the fist a lot. I think my favorite's the shield, though. Because I love the running in Captain America to bounce everything and using your special that way. Like, I really like that. And then also just having like a defensive, hold the button down and projectiles coming at you.
Let's talk about the weapons really quick. So I'll say the sword is, you know what? If we're gonna go, let's say S, A, B, C, D, and F tier, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's 6. So okay, I'm saying S. Here's my S tier. S tier is bow. A tier is fists. B tier is shield. C tier is sword. D tier is spear. And F tier is gun. What's yours?
I think I go shield is S tier. A tier would be spear. And then fist would be B tier. Mm-hmm. I'd probably put... I'd actually probably put bow and sword about the same for me. They're interchangeable.
I think you're crazy. That bow is so fucking powerful. I think it's the aspect of Demeter is the one, because the other thing that you get are, as you go through the run, you get boons. There are 9 gods of Olympus who will help you. Mm-hmm. And they all have different powers that will either upgrade your special, your cast, your special, your attack, your dash, or you can get a summon, or they'll give you random different boons. And so those also fundamentally change the game, because on a run, you'll only see 2 to 3 gods. You won't see all 9. So it's like, all right, this is a run with Poseidon and Aries, or this is a run with, Aphrodite and Dionysus. Mm-hmm. The one caveat to that is the 9th god is Hermes, and he just kind of shows up in every run, kind of whatever, but all his powers are either based on speed or dodging. It's kind of good. So it's one of those things where it's kind of luck based, because if you get a weapon you like, but you don't get the
boons
you like, it can fuck you up. Yeah. So with that bow, right? If you get what I found to be the best, so I told you I love that aspect where you get 40% more damage on if they have 2 debuffs on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite thing to run with was if I could get that bow and get like Aphrodite and Dionysus.
Okay.
Where
you're doing like the love and just the double dots, so, like basically, or the weekend dots. Yeah. Actually,
the best run I had, one of the harder runs I had, is I got lucky. I got Aphrodite, I got Dionysus, and I got Demeter. Demeter.
Fuck.
No, not Demeter. Sorry.
Okay. I was gonna say you're just
who's the goddess of the hunt? Artemis.
Oh, Artemis. Yeah.
Artemis's whole thing is that she doesn't do any debuff. Well, she kind of does, but she can give you crit chance. Yeah. And so I got one where it was like on fire. I was giving them weakness with attack, would dot them up with Aphrodite and give them weakness. My dash, when I dashed around, would give them this dot called Hangover from Dionysus, and then my special would have like 200% more damage and a 25% chance to crit.
Yeah,
which would give them another 200% damage. So what I would do is I dash in, I hit them with the dot, I dash out, and I hit them once to give them the weakness buff. So now they've got 2 buffs, and then I let go 3 volleys of these arrows. Which, when you take this power, you can eventually upgrade it to they're shooting 8 times. Then you can find an upgrade called the Daedalus Hammer that even gives you more arrows. So I was getting like 12 arrows that were doing 200% damage each, plus 40% damage from the double debuffs, plus 1 out of every 5 arrows would do another 200% damage. I could annihilate everything. Yeah. I kill Hades on that fight without even thinking about it. That bow is powerful.
Yeah, if you can get the bow with a bunch of like Artemis upgrades and then get the Daedalus hammers to just further your special upgrade, you will explode with damage. Like
the Daedalus hammer, if you didn't understand, is another kind of upgrade that's weapon based instead of power based. That's why I put the fist also really good, is because one of those, the Demeter upgrade, I think it's called the Aspect of Demeter. So in that one, your attack is just like a punch and your upgrade is an uppercut. But with this upgrade, it makes every time you land 12 normal attacks, your next fist attack hits like a couple times. Once you upgrade it, it hits 5 times at once.
Yeah.
So it's that same thing. If I get something where I do this double damage on them to get them all dotted up, and then I will just unleash this uppercut that would hit them 5 times, and it would crit for like 1,000. That was my favorite way to play, was anything where it did multiple hits.
Yeah.
Now I understand that's probably not everyone's way to play, but I went super offensive.
Yeah, I'm usually offensive whenever it comes to roguish kind of games. I really like to go and just, bigger numbers make me feel better. I like playing MMOs, so of course. Yeah. Like I like to be an offensive kind of DPS heavy character, and then that's kind of what I always liked about using, I don't know, like the spear, because I would always get those runs where you could just stun lock people with it just so easily, and then just going ham with whatever upgrades I needed. The spear I always like to get Poseidon with, just because
with the knockback.
Yeah, you'd always keep them at range. They could never get to you. It's always great. Again, I always loved the bow with anything Artemis. Like, it's anytime I would use the bow and just not have Artemis show up, I was just like, this is kind of a waste of a run, just because I always want that crazy special. But I really like the weapons in this game. I think that there's enough to keep you experimenting. Doing the different upgrades is always cool too, because I didn't even realize that until I think it's when you do your first full complete run that it really opens up the rest of them or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my gosh, like this rules. Like I love the new shield. I love playing with all the different shields. I love the different spears. Like I wish that maybe this game wasn't in early access for so long, and that maybe there were to be more DLC stuff that came with it, maybe a new weapon, because I would love to jump back in that game today with a new weapon in the game, or a new god, or just I want something else to be added. Just because the game was so good, I just want to keep going back into it.
And I feel like that's a problem with the way that you played the game, which is you played this game when it was in early access. Yeah?
Yes, I did.
I didn't play this game until it came out on PlayStation. So I got a finished game, and you played it piecemeal.
Yeah, I played it piece by piece. And granted, I think even at that, I played it about a year into there. It was close to the launch, but not full launch yet. And it was still great for what it was. And usually with early access games, I'm pretty cautious whenever I'm putting that dollar down, because I want there to be enough that it will satiate me, because I know that when the game finally launches, I probably won't dip back into it. I'm trying to get, as much of it out of it now, because it's, I can play it now. So I want to play it now, not later. But this one, I will say I've gone back to it more and more because it's just so solid. The gameplay is just so good. The core loop of the game is really where this game shines, because I've done 2 full runs, like 2 completed runs.
Wait, well, hold on.
And yeah,
we should talk about that.
Yeah.
You haven't beaten this game?
Not technically.
Okay. So if you don't know, in most roguelites, the idea is get to the end. You just need to beat the game once. This game is very cool in that you beat the game once, and that's kind of when the game starts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then it kind of opens up like everything that you need. A lot of the stuff that we've been talking about, a lot of the upgrades and everything, you don't even get until you defeat hate. So here's you go through Tartarus. That's the first level. It's like the hell prison. Then you get to Asphodel. That's where all the lava is. And they add the added aspect of like there's parts of the game that'll put you on fire. Then you get to Elysium. That's where all the champions are. So it's harder combat and a lot of traps. And then you get to the Temple of Styx, which is like a big maze. And then at the end, on the snow-ridden fields of Greece, you fight your father Hades. And he's a hard fight, and he's got 2 boss modes. What's the word I'm looking for? Phases.
He's got 2 phases. Thank you. And if you beat him, you get to leave hell and you go out to Greece and you find your mom. And she's like, I'm Persephone, I found you. And he's like, now we can finally talk. And then all of a sudden he starts dying, and he realizes that he's been so touched by the underworld that he cannot live on the surface, and he dies.
Right.
And the last thing his mom says is, come back and find me. And that's when the game starts, because now the goal of the game is to beat the game 10 fucking times.
Yeah. And that, I like
it's
that.
Great.
I love it, but it's not going to make me do it in one sitting. But that's the coolest thing about this is because
this game took me 2 weeks, so it's not like I did it in one sitting.
Well, well, I mean, I guess one consecutive gameplay. I'm going to go play other stuff for, a few weeks and maybe dip back into it.
This is all I played for 2 weeks.
Right. Oh, yeah. But for me, it's especially with rogue games, it's I love playing that. Honestly, one of my favorite genres probably is the roguelike kind of, game. Yeah. So for me, it is a year game for me, because it's I can play it for a weekend and just absolutely be into it, love it, and then I will shelve it for a month or 2 and then come back in and I'll play it hardcore for another weekend. But I'll do that forever now, because I just love it so much. It's just now in that pantheon of roguelites for me, where I can dip back in. And then the cool thing is I have to beat it 10 times, so it's there's kind of a little piece of me that's oh, well, maybe we'll do it this time. And I've got a little bit more investment into trying to complete it. I feel
like you're going to lose your muscle memory if you do that, and you're going to have to pick it up, and then it's going to be a bunch of failed runs. And then you're going to be like, fuck, this game's hard. And you're going to put it down again.
Would it be wild to say that I just turned God mode on for the first time the other day?
No,
because
for people out there who want to play this game but aren't that great at roguelikes, I will say there is an option called God mode. You can turn it on, and basically what it does is it doesn't make the game easier, but what it does is it gives you a 20% damage debuff, and every time you die, you get 2% more damage debuffs, and it kind of stops at, I think, 80%.
Yeah.
I did turn that on after I was done with my run, when it was just trophy time.
Yeah.
Because then it was just all right, so you beat the game 10 times, you get this story, and then that's when I was all right, now it's trophy time. And I looked up what I had to do, and it was a lot. And that's when I went, you know what? I don't want to deal with this anymore. I beat the game. I did the hard part. I did what I had to do. Yeah. And so I did turn that on, and I used it, and made it go a little bit faster. I think this would have taken a little bit longer if I didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I had been playing it just the standard way, because I don't know. Whenever I see that in games, usually I'm just I don't want the handicap, I guess. And just recently I was just kind of let's go ahead and just throw it on, because then I can have like a little bit smoother of a runs, especially like when I'm trying to, get my muscle memory back on it. But I don't know, like I'm pretty consistently getting to the same parts that would give me trouble, which really the only things I have trouble on in this game are the Minotaur
Theseus and
Theseus
the
fight. Yeah.
So yeah, every level has, so out of the 4 levels, everyone's got a final boss. So the final boss of Tartarus is Megara and the Furies. The final boss of Asphodel is a big giant bone hydra. I like that fight a lot. And then the final boss of Elysium is Theseus, the champion of Elysium. I do have a bone to pick with the people at Supergiant. Theseus is a really cool hero in the history of Roman or Greek mythology, and in this game they made him a fucking tool. I wasn't a fan of doing my boy dirty like that.
I just hated his stupid shield, like
fucking idiot. And he's like a prick, and he's just like, I'm so cool, and you're the devil. And fucking Zagreus is like, no, I'm not.
But he does.
I have another thing to pick a bone with this game.
Oh yeah,
this game takes place in ancient Greece. Why does Zagreus have a fucking Cockney accent?
Yeah, that it's that whole Resident Evil 8 voice acting team again, right? It's just like, oh wait,
no. That was
just like
Resident Evil 8 was.
It's just you are not your setting, like you are not. Yeah,
this is like the person who did the Zagreus voice did a really good job.
Oh, great, yeah.
He's calling people mate, and he's like, "What's going on, mate?" I'm like, that doesn't exist yet. This is ancient Greece. London won't be around for a couple thousand years.
I do kind of like, it gives its own charm, right? It's its own style, I guess. Like it's their take, I guess.
That is that thing of like when you want to make something antiquated and old, you give them a fucking English accent. They did that in Troy, and it's just like, this is fucking weird. Nobody's speaking Greek, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. I will say, though, with the Theseus fight, he does fight with the coolest character in the game, which is the Minotaur.
Oh, the Minotaur?
Yeah.
The Minotaur is cool.
Minotaur is my fucking favorite.
It's too bad you can't become friends with the Minotaur.
Oh, I know. Like, every time I played, I was just like, he's the best. I love him. I love his little pompadour. He's the coolest. Just let me, like, be friends with the Minotaur. I want to be friends with the Minotaur. No, I can't. So, Supergiant, I don't know if you're listening, but anytime you want to do that Minotaur DLC, I'm willing.
They're not. So here's the thing about Supergiant. I like Supergiant. They're not DLC people.
That's true. I never really thought about that. Yeah, they're done.
They move on.
Yeah,
they're done. They're not going to come back and do DLC for this. It's never going to happen. Move on.
Wow. Yeah, because now as we've had this conversation, I was sitting here thinking like, man, it would be cool if they did another Hades where like we go in the inverse way, like we keep diving deeper into hell or something. But yeah, there's no point to like
I love Supergiant. Yeah. Supergiant is a company that has made games that are always different. Bastion, Transistor, Pyre, and Hades have nothing alike, except maybe the 2.5D like.
Yeah, they like their isometric view.
They like their ISO angle, but yeah,
which is totally fine.
They're probably never going to make another roguelike. They're probably never going to make anything more with Hades. They're going to move on to something weird and new, and it'll be great because I love Supergiant.
I am stoked to see whatever they do because they don't miss. Like every game is a hit.
I've heard Pyre wasn't the biggest hit, but I never played Pyre.
I still had friends that were like, oh yeah, it like it just isn't like. I mean, Bastion is such a huge that game blew up whenever the indie scene was just blooming.
I played that on Steam and
and even Transistor.
I can still hear the "You Build a Wall" song in my head. What a great fucking song! Speaking of music, man,
the music in this game is so good.
It's really good. The music in this game is really good and moody. And then they have Orpheus down in hell, who is a Greek musician singer. They have some really cool songs in here. They got this song called Good Riddance, which is really good. I would just fucking play that in my house of Hades all the time. They got this song called In the Blood that's really good. Like, the music is so fucking good. Just the normal Hades. Drop it in right now. Behind me, you're listening to the Hades song. You know what I'm talking about?
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. That song. Listen to this song. song.
Yeah, it's fucking like, and this gets you like, this is what you want to hear when you fucking that title screen pop up and you're just like, oh, let's go. Like, I'm ready, you know?
Let's
perfect mood setter. Like, this is one of those few games too that like when I'm playing it, it's always a good sign to me because I do come from like a very musically influenced background, and when I don't have to think about the music, like the music just perfectly goes with everything. It keeps moving and keeps you in the moment to moment. That's when I know it's fucking grand. It's great because a lot of times like gaming, games will have good soundtracks or like, scores or whatever it is. But there are times where I'm just like, this doesn't totally fit its element right now, or like, the setting that we're in, or like the mood that it's trying to portray. And I feel like this game nails it every time. Every time with this game is perfect. Whenever you walk into a room where, oh my God, I can't think of her name right now, but she's in the lava area and she gives you like the random, like you just walk in and it's just that light, like she's singing there and you're just like, oh my fucking God. It's fucking grand. This is one of the few games too recently where I've been like, I would buy the soundtrack to this. I would totally buy this game. Like, it's so good. I would love to use this game in the music for like tabletop RPGs or something like that. Like, I feel like it just has the perfect mood for that. Like,
I would buy this soundtrack on vinyl and just put it on in the background while I'm like doing dishes and shit. I would do that.
Could you imagine?
So you haven't really beat the game, this is the first time we've talked about a game that you're not anywhere close to me, but I want to talk about the trophies in this game because I will say, as good as this game is, the trophies get very fucking grindy.
What was your path? Like, because, we've briefly talked about the trophies because I figured I think they're pretty 1-to-1 of what is on like the Steam list. So what I've been playing with for the last, year or two. Yeah. When you sat down to complete this game, like what were the big ones that stood out to you? Just being like, I'm going to hate doing this. But then like,
I knew that.
How did you get there?
Cultural osmosis, because everyone was talking about it last year.
Right.
I knew you had to beat this game 10 times. So my first goal was that beat the game 10 times, get whatever happens while I'm doing it, and worry about the rest later, with one exception. So there was one trophy I knew I had to work on from the start of the game. Mm-hmm. That is a trophy called Friends Forever. That is for max ranking each standard keepsake.
Yes.
So we talked about how you can befriend all these characters in this game. The first time you befriend a character to the first level, they give you a keepsake. A keepsake is like a trinket that gives you a power for that run. And it's got 3 levels. It can be 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. For every encounter, which is a room with enemies, that you do, you give it 1 point of XP, basically. To go from 1 to 2 needs 25 rooms. To go from 2 to 3 needs 50 rooms. So that's 75 rooms per keepsake.
Right.
There are 25 keepsakes. And that equals, I believe the math was 1,875 encounters you have to do.
Yeah. Now, that does sound daunting, but
25 times 75 equals 1,875. That's very daunting.
Yeah.
It was I knew about that. So the very first thing I did is I was getting all the keepsakes and I was putting them on and I was keeping them on until I got done with them. And then I immediately put on another one. Now I handicapped myself a little bit because there is a keepsake you get from your training dummy named Skelly, who's a skeleton that you can try weapons out on. And the keepsake you get from him is his tooth, which gives you basically an extra life. Mm-hmm. There's a power on that mirror called Death Defied. You can eventually get 3 extra lives. So if you die, you regen with half health. So you don't actually die. With this tooth, you can get a 4th one. When I was doing my runs, when I was going through and getting to the end, when I was getting to Styx, between each level, you have a chance to change your keepsakes. But once you change them, you can't change them back, right?
Right.
In Styx, every room you do there could add 1 more, and those rooms are a lot quicker. So in Styx, it's not like all the rest of them where you go in a room and there's a bunch of enemies. Mm-hmm. The way that Styx works is Cerberus, your dog, guards the gates of hell. Well, you're not going to fight your dog. He's your dog.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a trophy for petting your dog. Why would you fight your dog? Instead, there's 5 side rooms, and at the end of one of them is a bag of satyr parts that you can feed to him so he'll fuck off and you can go fight your dad.
Yeah.
It's never the first one you pick, and it can be randomly the second, third, fourth, or fifth one, right?
Yeah.
And so how it works is you go down a hall, there's 4 tiny rooms with like 2 or 3 enemies, and then an end room that's either got a bunch of little enemies, a mini boss, or the thing you need to find, and a health regen station. And once you find it, you can keep doing them for more rewards, or like you can go and feed him and go fight your dad. Because at the end of every single one of these, you can either find a boon or some health, like a health upgrade, or a pomegranate that upgrades your boons to a higher level. And so it's like, do you want to risk it for more upgrades before you fight Hades? Or do you want to just get the fuck out of here? Well, the thing is with those upgrades, every single one of those rooms counts as a normal big room. So one of the big rooms where you'd fight like 20 enemies, these little ones count, like you can get 25 rooms done in one run of sticks. And so what I was doing though is like, I want to beat them. I would always put on that tooth even after it was upgraded. So I probably wasted a good,
oh yeah, because you could have just kind of kept grinding. Kept grinding,
but I wanted to beat Hades, so I wanted that extra. So I probably handicapped myself by about 300 or 400 rooms that I didn't need to do. I had to do at the end.
Yeah,
so that's my own fault. But because of that, yeah, it was always about getting the new keepsake and then grinding it out and then going through and trying to win. I'd say other than that, all I was focusing on was beating the game 10 times, and then I worried about other shit. But some of the trophies in this game were pretty fucking daunting. There was one that was like hard, but the rest were just kind of long. Yeah. And the reason for that is because a lot of these are tied into those talking to people quests. I need to talk to Nyx until I unlock her quest so I can do it for a trophy. The problem with that is every time you go back to the House of Hades, not everyone is guaranteed to be there.
Yep.
And even if they are guaranteed to be there, sometimes they can be talking to other people, so you can't talk to them. And even if you can talk to them, sometimes they won't give you the lines they need.
Yeah.
So
I remember you trying to grind Poseidon and try and get his like specific fish for a while.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
I ended up not needing it.
Oh, really?
Well, so after you beat the game, you go 10 times. Are we just spoiling the story of this game?
No, because I mean, come on. It's, also, spoiler alerts. Oh, hey, sorry, real quick, spoiler alert. We do spoil the whole ending of this game, so if you don't want to be spoiled, please jump to 59 minutes and 50 seconds. Like, you're listening to Hades right now. But, I don't think you're really spoiling anything, because, I mean...
No, I'm saying, can I spoil?
Oh, totally, yeah.
Okay, so when you beat the game 9 times, on the 10th, every time you beat Hades, he gets a little bit harder. He has, he's got this phase where he summons bad guys to fight with him. Yeah. And every time you beat him in a subsequent phase, the things he summoned are harder.
Yeah.
On the 10th time, you're like, this is going to be the hardest one. You get out there, and he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done fighting you. Go talk to your mom. And that's the end of the game. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, after that, there's an epilogue. There's a secret epilogue that is a trophy you have to complete to do this. And the way to do that is that the whole story of this game is that Persephone was in Mount Olympus, right? Mm-hmm. And Hades was kind of like over here being sad. And the story is that Zeus saw that his brother stuck in hell was kind of sad. So he fucking kidnaps Persephone and sends her to hell so that Hades can have a girlfriend. And Hades and Persephone are like, what the fuck? Fuck you. But then they end up like loving each other.
Right. It all works out in the end, kind of.
But then they have Zagreus, and Zagreus dies in childbirth because the fates have said that Hades will never have an heir.
Right.
Then somehow, all of a sudden, he's not dead. But before he's not dead, Persephone's like, I can't do this. My son's dead. And she fucks back off to Earth. But she can't go to Olympus because her mom, Demeter, the goddess of winter, thinks she's fucking dead. So because that's what Zeus told her as a cover up for why is my fucking daughter gone? And he's gonna say, well, I kidnapped her and sent her to hell. She's like, oh, she died. Oh, it sucks. So if she goes back, it'll start a war between Olympus and hate and the underworld, and nobody wants that. So Persephone decided to just live on a farm at the gates of hell And so the story of the game is you finding out this through your mom. And it's like, why did you leave me? I didn't leave you.
Yeah.
I love you. You didn't want, then blah, blah, blah.
It had to be so that you could live.
Yeah. So you could be in blah, blah, blah. And it's a very touching story. Whatever. No, I'm not saying whatever like it wasn't good. I'm just saying like whatever. Let's get through it. So you beat the game 10 times. Persephone moves back to Hades. Hades and Persephone are happy because he's still got his picture on her nightstand. They love each other. It's touching. It's sweet. Whatever.
Oh yeah, happy ending.
Secret epilogue is Persephone goes, well, they're gonna find out. So I got a better idea. Let's have a dinner party. The way you do that is that you have to max your social rank with 6 of the 9 gods. Mm-hmm. But every god has a secret quest you have to do to unlock to get it to the end. And those quests, some of them fucking suck. Let me go over what you have to do with each one of these fuckers to unlock it. One of these you have to do for a trophy, and that's Aries. Aries is very simple. Kill 10,000 enemies. Ugh. Turns out, by the end of that game, not that many. I'd killed like 15 or 16,000. So
well, that's perfect.
Not that many. Aphrodite is you have to max rank the 3 romanceable characters. So as Aries, you can romance 3 people. You can romance Megara, the head of the Furies. You can romance Thanatos, the god of the death incarnate, which is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Because the backstory of this is that Nyx, the incarnation of night, you think that's your mom. You think Hades fucked the night and made you because they can't tell you about Persephone. Well, Nyx has children. She is the mother of Hypnos, the incarnation of sleep, and Thanatos, the incarnation of death. So until you beat the game and find out that Persephone is your mom, they allow you to date who you think is your brother.
Yeah. Which
that's a little fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's definitely weird.
It's weird. You can date those two. Also, you can try to date Dusa, who is Medusa, but she's not like a full Medusa. Like I thought we were going to get Sexy Snake Lady. She's actually just like a little floating Gorgon head, like from Castlevania. And she's like all ooh-woo. Hey, oh, I'm so cute. I'm the maid here. And then at the end of her, have you dated any of these people?
No, I tried my hardest to get the Dusa one, and I just haven't hit it yet.
The Dusa one, the way that you fully date her is that you have to do her quest, which is to upgrade the lounge because she likes hanging out in the lounge. So you got to like clean it up after Cerberus like claws it up, and you got to buy a bunch of upgrades for it. Mm-hmm. Then you have to give her 10 ambrosia, which is a lot. Jeez. Most people only need 2 or 3. The nice thing is at the end of the pass, she'll give it all back to you. But nice. When you get to the end of Medusa's what's it called? Romance, she goes, "Oh, I just want to be friends."
Hell yeah.
And Zagreus is like, "Oh, okay, that's fine. We can just be friends." But Thanatos and Zagreus and the Zagreus and Megara, when you do their quests at the end, like Thanatos' quest is to, I think it's just to beat him at killing people. Mm-hmm. And then Megara's quest is to just talk to her a bunch and then beat her because she's one of the bosses at the end of the first world. You get scenes in their bedroom where like they straight up, it's like, yo, they fucking. And if you date them both, you get a scene where this is random, of course. Sometimes it just will not pop up. But you get a scene where the both of them are like, hey, you're dating her and you're dating him. But what's up? And he's like, I don't know. Can we all date each other? And they're like, okay, that's cool.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I guess shouts out. So if you do all that, that's how you fucking unlock Aphrodite's. Aries, kill 10,000 people. Artemis is literally, you just have to talk to her and until she starts talking about her like dryad girlfriend. It's completely and utterly random. Every time that you find, so here's why it's annoying. Mm-hmm. Every time you find a boon when you're going through a run, the first time you find a god, they will tell you a funny little quip. And that's how you get most of these quests. The problem is if you find a god on a run where you've already found a god, most of the time their quip is about the first god. So to get Artemis's, you have to find Artemis first. Now there's a way to do that with a keepsake where you're guaranteed you'll find Artemis first.
Right.
But going through my thing, eventually it was just like, I've upgraded this keepsake. I can't keep using it or else I'm doing runs for no reason. And then I have to do a run and then either fucking kill myself or finish this run so that I can go back to the thing. And it was just literally hearing lines and lines of dialogue until she would say the thing about I think it was when she talks about Callisto, who is her like dryad girlfriend or whatever, and she's like, you should meet Callisto. She's real nice. Okay, you have to get like 6 or 7 of those, and it's just constantly fishing for this line, and it takes forever.
Yeah,
Athena's. I don't even remember what the fuck I did. Athena's just kind of happened. What was Athena's? Oh, Athena's favor requires seeing all 3 of Athena's remarks after successfully clearing a run, acknowledging Zagreus. So you have to clear a run and then see Athena on the next run. So that's random.
Yeah.
Fucking Demeter's you can't do until after you beat the game. So as long as you just give her 6 nectar, she counts as one of your 6, which is fine. Dionysus is to max rank 6 other non-gods. So you have to max rank 6 gods, and then hopefully he'll talk to you about that. Hermes is that you have to max rank his keepsake and then be wearing it when you talk to him. Now that one is okay because that one's guaranteed.
Yeah, that seems pretty easy.
The only problem with Hermes is that unlike all the other people, he has a like 2 hearts more on his chain, so it just costs more ambrosia. That's whatever. Yeah. Poseidon's is the most fucking annoying one, and I never got it done because you have to get him to. There's 2 parts to it. You have to fucking get to him after there's a little side fun mechanic where you can go fishing. Shouts out if you like fishing mini games. Sometimes you'll find little puddles where you can fish and you'll get a fish and you can turn it in at the chef in the lounge and the chef will give you upgrade materials. Well, you have to do a Poseidon run where you don't find him until you've caught a fish. And then you find him and he talks about the fish. And you do that enough times until he starts a run and he says, guess what? I see that you're catching fish. Here's the point of this run. You're going to start out with my legendary boon where every time you walk into a room, you have a 20% chance for there to be a fish there. Usually you can only catch 1 fish per world. Like if you go a run, you can only catch 1 fish in Tartarus. Well, he gives you a boon where it's like every time you walk in a room, there's a 20% chance there'll be a fish. So you need to catch at least 4 or 5 fish on this run, and one of them has to be a legendary fish, which means you have to press the button when the bobber goes down in under 0.3 seconds, and that's only a 1 out of 21 chance that it'll be legendary. You want to talk about fishing fucking mini games in Final Fantasy? Fuck this one.
That sounds kind of similar to what I was doing, though.
I did all that, and I did it, and I was like, great, it's done. He goes, no, there's more. Now you have to wait until I talk about Theseus because Theseus is the champion of Poseidon. And then you have to use, after you beat the game once, you get what's called the Pact of Punishment, where you can actively make the game harder for more rewards. When you turn on one of these modifiers to make the game harder, you get heat. And for every weapon, you can re-get the rewards, which is a Titan's Blood at the end of level 1, a Diamond at the end of level 2, a Ambrosia at the end of level 3, and another Titan Blood if you kill Hades. Well, the thing is, so let's say with the bow, right? You beat Hades with the bow and you get all the things. Well, now you can go up to Heat 1 and you can do it all again and get them. But if it's like, I'm going to go Heat 2, it's like, no, you only get the Heat 1 ones. And until you beat Hades again, you can't keep doing it.
Right.
So it makes you actively make the game harder. Now, there's some of them that aren't that bad, and we'll talk about that when we get to a certain trophy. But for Poseidon, he wants you to beat Theseus on what's called the Extreme Measures Protocol, which basically gives all of the end bosses new powers. So you have to beat this Theseus fight, which is, I think, honestly, the hardest fight in the game because it's the only fight against 2 people. Theseus has a shield and is throwing spears and calling down the gods on you while this giant fucking bull is just running roughshod with this fucking axe all over the place, chopping the shit out of you. Well, how it makes it harder is you give them armor so they can take more hits, and Theseus gets a fucking chariot with a gun on it.
Fuck.
So I did that, and then I beat it, and I did the thing, and I was like, okay, now I can talk to him, and he still didn't unlock the fucking thing. Whatever. And then Zeus's is the funniest one. Zeus literally just wants you to find out what other people think about him. So you just have to do runs where you have Zeus's power and then meet another god, and if you get enough people to talk shit on Zeus, Zeus will go, oh, that's good. Well, that's hilarious that I'm the king. I don't know what they're talking about. And then he'll give you so you get 6 of those. And then after you've maxed 6 of those, Persephone will go, great, you're on their side. Give them these dinner invitations. And then your job is to do runs until you meet all 9 gods again and can give them a dinner invitation.
Oh, well, that's kind of cute, though.
Yeah, the hard part is literally just triggering some of this shit.
Yeah.
Because like the Aphrodite one, for the dating them, it's every time you date one, you'll get a line like, okay, I finished Medusa's first. Now, Aphrodite should have a line the next time I see her. After I was done with Medusa, it was like 6 or 7 times later when I got an Aphrodite run that she finally acknowledged the Medusa relationship. It's some of the RNG with getting things to talk to you is ridiculous.
Right.
It's just a little too annoying. We'll talk about that in some more trophies here. So like, okay, I'm going to go through the trophies in this game that were kind of annoying.
Yeah.
You've got your normal trophies, like there's one for clear Tartarus, clear Asphodel, clear Elysium, clear the game, right? No big deal.
Yeah.
Then you've got things like, there was one for clearing Elysium on the extreme measure. So beating Theseus with his dumb fucking bullshit fucking chariot was a trophy. There's also some trophies for some side shit, like clearing an infernal gate without taking damage. An infernal gate is a side thing you can do, but only if you're using heat. An infernal gate is an arena where if you can defeat an area without ever getting hit, you will get a high-powered boon. The only problem is the only way to unlock those gates is that you have to have heat turned on. At least 5 heat for Tartarus gates, at least 10 heat for Asphodel gates, and at least 15 heat for Elysium gates. And those gates are fucking hard. So it's already made harder by the fact that you're giving them all these powers. There was one for beating the secret boss. So did you know you can, the shopkeeper in this game is Charon, the element of the dead. You can fight him.
Can you really?
There's a secret fight where sometimes when you go into a room after you've cleared it, there'll be a big old bag of money behind him and you can steal his money. And if you do, he gets pissed and he pulls you into like another dimension, Erebus, and you have to fight him. And he's actually the hardest fight in the game because he's just throwing all this paddle shit at you. If you can beat him, you get a loyalty card, which is a buff that for the rest of that run, everything at his stores is 20% off. Not fucking worth it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it were for like the rest of the game, not bad. But just for that run, it's like, well, you might just lose everything for what, 20%? Nah. Not worth
it. Well, I had to do it once. Probably the hardest trophy in the game is what's called Skelly's Last Lamentations. There's these trophies for Skelly's after you beat the game, Skelly's got these trophies on these giant pedestals. Like, if you can beat the game on 8 heat, I'm going to give you a giant reward. And 8 heat is a lot. One of the trophies was for beating the game using at least every pact of punishment once. And there's some easy ones and there's some hard ones. I'll go over those in a second. But to do 8 at one time was not too bad. I turned on extreme measures to 6 and I turned on this one that every enemy gets 1 free hit. And that gave me another 2, right? That's not too bad. And if you do all this and he's like, all right, here's your big reward. And it's a statue of him bathing. And he's like, why don't you do it again at 16 heat? And I'm like, fuck. So that's the second trophy, is doing 16 heat. 16 heat was no fucking joke. It was pretty hard. I did it on stream and I failed once and I got there the second time. Then there's another trophy that is like, hey, why don't you do it 32 heat? And they were nice enough to not make that a trophy. So I was like, fuck you. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I was to say, like, fuck that.
There's also one for completing. So there's the standard keepsakes. There's 25 of those, right? There's also 6 Cathodic Companions. Those are little like plushies that you get from 6 very specific people. Mm-hmm. And what they are another type of summons you can do once per game. Now you can upgrade them to do them a couple more times per game, but they do things like, Thanatos will give you one he'll drop like his little death circle and he'll come in and kill a bunch of things. Or like Sisyphus will give you one where he comes in and he drops a giant boulder on people. So it's like another extra summons. Getting all 6 of those, it just took some time because you have to do 6 very long paths.
Right.
You get them from helping out Megara, Thanatos, Skelly, Sisyphus, Dusa, and Achilles. Mm-hmm. And getting all 6 of those, it's just you have to max out those 6 people. But thankfully, you have to max out 6 people to talk to Dionysus anyway. So it's like You're doing that already. That just took some time because, once again, that means you have to do Megara's quest. You have to do all of Thanatos' quest. You have to do Skelly's quest. You have to do Sisyphus' quest. They all have like pretty long quests. Sisyphus's was annoying because you have on each level on Tartarus, Asphodel, and Elysium, there's a random chance you can meet somebody. You can meet Sisyphus on Tartarus, Eurydice on Asphodel, and Patroclus. They say Patroclus. I thought his name was Patroclus. I guess who fucking knows? But you can meet him on Elysium, and they will give you like specific powers. Like on Tartarus, if you find Sisyphus, he'll be there with his boulder, and you can talk to him, and he'll either give you a choice of getting some extra gold, some extra health, or some extra darkness. But if you keep talking to him, you can eventually unlock this quest where you find out about why he's in hell, why he's been, why he's got to push the boulder up the hill. And eventually you can break into your dad's administrative chamber, find his contract, and for enough diamonds, you can tear it up.
Oh, hell yeah. And you can talk to his boulder too, which is awesome.
You can. Once you do that, you can talk to his boulder. And actually, once you have talked to him enough to become his friend, you can give nectar to his boulder for a secret boulder boon that you can use for the rest of that run. I did that on my 16 heat run, and it gave me like 3% more damage or something.
Oh, shit. That's substantial.
For Eurydice, you have to talk to Orpheus and Eurydice enough to get them to talk to each other again. But that's annoying too, because to do that, Eurydice must say a very specific line, and you won't find her every time. It's random if you'll find her. So you have to do a run to Asphodel, then run through Asphodel and hope you see her, and then hope she says the thing. And then you have to get back and hope Orpheus is there when you're back at the House of Hades, and that he's not talking to somebody, and that he says his line. And so it's just a lot of like
RNG on top of RNG.
Yeah, it's a little annoying. You have to max a weapon aspect. So that's the weapon aspects. You just have to put the max amount of Titan's Blood in one of them, but that's fine because to do Skelly, you need to max out the default aspect on the sword and then kill him with it. You have to unlock all the weapon aspects. Now, this one was a little hard. So every weapon has 4 aspects. You have the aspect of Zagreus, which is your default weapon aspect. Then you've got 2 aspects that are about other gods or people from Greek mythology. And then you've got a hidden aspect. Did you ever find any of the hidden aspects?
No, I didn't.
So every weapon has a hidden aspect. The first one you unlock is the spear, and you have to just have unlocked enough other aspects that Achilles will go, hey, you're unlocking aspects. I got a little secret for you. If you tell this thing to your spear, it'll turn into something weird. And the spear turns into the spear of some Chinese folk hero named Gong Yu. The hidden aspects are where they get weird with it and do like things outside of Greek mythology. Well, then it's like, okay, well, now I need to find the hidden aspect code phrases for the rest of these weapons, and they all have different things you have to do. You have to have invested at least 5 Titan's Blood into non-aspect of Zagreus things on each one. So there, you need like 20-something, what's 5 times 6? You need 30 Titan Blood already, and then you need to buy that aspect once you unlock it. So that's another 3 Titan Blood. So you need a shitload of Titan Blood, and the things you have to do are kind of fucking annoying.
Guan Yu is the god of war in Chinese.
Is he?
Mythology. Yeah. That's when you said that, I was like, wait, that's what's his face?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's got a cool ass fucking spear.
So yeah, so the Aspect of Guan Yu you get from Achilles literally just by, you have to have beat the game once and you have to have already put 5 Titan Blood into other weapons. And apparently, thank you, Chris, Guan Yu is the Chinese god of war.
Yeah. I believe he's also in the Dynasty Warrior games.
I never played those.
That's where like my brain immediately was like, oh yeah, he's the spear dude in the I think he's a part of the Shu army. I'm probably saying that wrong, but Zhu army maybe.
So the swords aspect is King Arthur. And
that makes sense. Yeah.
It's actually pretty simple. All you have to do is put 5 blood into the blade, and then you just have to talk to Nyx, and then eventually she'll just talk about it. But once again, I'm trying to get Nyx to talk to me for her quest. I'm trying to get Nyx to talk to me for Nyx is who randomly will let you break into the and find the contracts for Sisyphus, Eurydice, and Achilles. So I'm getting her to try to tell me these random lines. I'm trying to get her to tell me her random lines for her quest with Chaos, who I haven't even talked about, who I'll talk about in a second, because that's one of the side quests that a trophy is tied to. And now I'm trying to get her to talk to me about this fucking sword.
Yeah.
The problem with Nyx is that half the time she's fucking talking to somebody else and doesn't want to talk to me. So RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG.
Yeah.
The shields aspect is Beowulf, which is pretty cool. You have to be holding the shield in a run, and you have to find Chaos. Chaos is the primordial goo of the beginning of everything. And the way that you find them is that you have to randomly walk into a room with a Chaos gate, which is, instead of taking one of the doors out, it's got a thing on the door that you have to give up 20 health to go down to get a boon from Chaos. How the Chaos boons work is that they give you a detriment that, like, you get a choice. It's like, hey, for the next 4 levels, you have negative 20% health. Or every time that you cast, you lose 3 health. Or you can't earn any gold. But once you do that, you get some pretty sick buffs. Like, you can have an extra casting stone. Or you get, triple money, or you do 200% more damage. So like it's worth it in the long shot.
Right.
But you have to be wielding the shield and find a chaos gate and go down there and then hope they talk to you about it, because it's not guaranteed.
Yeah. And that's what, like, whenever, again, watching you just do that Poseidon run, where it's just like, I just need you to talk. Just do this one line of dialogue, please. Like, that's the worst part of the grind, I guess, is just the constant RNG that is involved. At least like the trinkets, they do kind of help, mitigate it a little bit. But then again, if you're trying to, objectively just get it done as fast as you can, it's really not going to help you too much.
The bow and the gun are also kind of the same way. The bow, you have to be holding the bow and find an Artemis boon, and hopefully she talks to you about it. Yeah. And the gun, you have to find. The gun is the bow turns into the aspect of Rama, which I believe is the Hindu god.
I think so.
And then the gun becomes the aspect of Lucifer. Now, I will say this is the one time the gun becomes cool, because instead of bullets, it becomes a laser gun.
Oh shit.
And you just shoot out a laser, which still uses up ammo. But then one of the Daedalus hammer upgrades you can get for it is infinite laser. That's the one time it's good, because now you can just stand in the middle of the room and just do circles and fire lasers.
Yeah, just forever Kamehameha.
But the absolute hardest fucking one is the aspect of Gilgamesh for the fists.
Really?
Because guess who gives you that? Our fucking bull friend.
Oh, yes, the best fucking boy.
The bull will only give it to you if you find him as a mini boss. There is a random chance.
Yeah.
So anytime you're going to go into a new room, they give you like usually a couple pass, and they'll show you, it's like, if you do this room, we'll give you a boon, or maybe if you do this room, we'll give you more health, and you get to choose. And on the bottom, if there's a little skull, it's like, at the end of this one, inside this room is a mini boss. Randomly in Elysium, sometimes the mini boss will be replaced with the bull by himself. Mm-hmm. You have to be wearing the boots, get a mini boss, and it's got to be the bull, and you got to hope that he talks about it. Mm-hmm. And you have to do it twice. Yeah. So you have to hope he gives you the first line, and then hopes you have to give him the second line. That one took for fucking ever. You want to, so then you've got things like get 100 different Olympian boons, or get 50 different Daedalus hammer achievements. That's just from playing the game. You have to just, over the course of enough runs, you have to get 100 different boons. And the nice thing is that through what's called the Fated List of Minor Prophecies, which is like your quest log, they'll put a little logo that says you haven't gotten this one yet. So at least you know to get a new one.
Yeah, at least there's a nice little checklist. Like,
here's another fucking RNG bullshit one. It's called Thanks But No Thanks. You have to purge a legendary boon. So at the end of every level, before you move on, and randomly in some levels, you'll find this thing called the Well of no, it's not called the Well of the Well of Charon is where you buy things. You find this other thing where you can basically sell 3 random boons you can sell for money. But they pick 3 randomly ones out of the ones you want. It's like, if you want, you can sell these for money if you want. So first you have to find a legendary boon. Well, you might ask me, what's a legendary boon? Every god has one legendary boon. Poseidon has 2, but we're going to talk about that. Where if you get a very specific types of boons, like it'll actually look into this, like, for Aphrodite, you need to have this boon and this boon. If you have both, there's a chance that it might spawn, like a 2% chance. Now, there's a thing on the mirror that'll make them appear more often, and that's what I had to use to do it. But then you have to hope that you find the other ones. So now I have to hope that this drops, and then I have to hope that this drops, and then I have to hope that this drops. And then if you do all that and you get lucky enough to find a legendary boon, then you have to find one of these to sell it to, and you have to hope that it picked out of the 3. It only picks 3 boons. You don't get a choice. You have to hope it accidentally picks the legendary boon. Yeah. I can't tell you how many runs I had where I finally got a legendary boon, and then none of the wells I found would fucking pick it. That one fucking sucks.
And that's like, even if you get a legendary boon, you just don't want to give it up. Like, you want to complete the run, right?
Well,
so it's like,
the nice thing is that the game, okay, here's a little tip for all you trophy hunters out there. The game saves when you walk into a new encounter every time. So what you can do...
you can cheese it.
You can absolutely save scum. What you do is when you walk into a room, the game, before you find anything, the game gives you a couple seconds to quit out to the main menu. And if you do, it will save. Then you can go to PSN Plus and upload your save to the cloud. So now the thing is, though, after you've walked into a room, any randomness is already picked. So what I would have to do is, if I walked into a room when I had a legendary boon and I saw that thing that's like, you can sell it, I'd quit out, I'd save to save scum it, and then I go back in, and that way, if it was a legendary boon, I could sell it and then restart my save and get it back, but have my trophy, right?
Right.
But the thing is like, oh, I figured the first time I have a legendary boon, I'll go into a room and then I'll just until it randomly picks it. After you walk in the room, it's already picked what 3 it is. So when you do it, if you try to save scum and do it again, it's like, oh, we've already picked. That part has been saved. So it was a bunch of runs of just trying to find it.
Yeah. That's kind of annoying, but hey, at least there is like a little bit of save scum to it.
Yeah. It also you can like, let's say before your 9th Hades run, that's really hard. You could have a save point. That way, if you die, you can, instead of having to play the whole game again, you can just try to fight him again.
Right.
I will say that's how I beat the game kind of faster than a lot of people, is that once I made it to Hades, it's like, I'm not leaving this fucking fight until I kill Hades. I had very few non-clears once I had made it to Hades, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Other annoying trophies. Let's see. There's one for fully unlocking Olympians Codex entries, and that just details finding all of their boons enough times, like talk to them enough times, and then you'll finally talk to them enough. Buy things from the contractor, buy things from the salesman, the wretched broker. That's not too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's all these ones for the prophecies. That's more RNG, like I said, of just making sure they talk to you about things. Here's one that's kind of hard. Fulfilling the Dark Reflections prophecy and the Harsh Conditions prophecy. The Dark Reflections prophecy is to, over the course of your runs, beat the game with every single Mirror of Night talent once. Now, you think that's not hard. You can just invest in all the Mirror of Night talents. Except every Mirror of Night talent has a red talent and a green talent. You can only pick one at each time. And some of them are hard. Like, I really was able to beat the game because of Death Defiance, where I have 3 extra lives. Well, the other side of that is Stubborn Defiance, where you only get 1, but it recharges after every room. But if you die, you get 20% health back. Well, once I did that, I was like, I was good enough that I can get to the end without dying. But now, instead of having my 4 lives for Hades, I got 1 plus the other one from the tooth. So that one was a little hard. Yeah. And then it was just playing the games different way. The Harsh Conditions prophecy is to beat the game enough times with every single Pact of Punishment on. Let me explain to you some of the Pact of Punishment things. And some of them aren't hard. Like, you just have to do 1 level of each one at least once. Not all at the same time, but overall. Mm-hmm. And some of them aren't hard. Like, everybody gets a free hit. Not that hard. When you're playing with something like the Fist, where you're hitting so hard, it's like, yeah, the first hit doesn't count, but I'm going to hit him 6 more times, whatever. There's ones where, like, every room has, 50% more enemies, or people hit 20% harder, or everything costs 40% more money. What are some other ones? Everyone is 50% faster. There was one where it's like, when you regain health, you regain 25% less health. It's shit like that. They're not hard. They're just annoying. One of the most annoying ones was putting a time limit on the game. I had to beat the game in 18 minutes, basically.
Fuck that.
Well, no, I think I beat the game in 18 minutes, but the game gave you like 25 minutes to beat the whole thing. And my best time was 18 minutes with the Fist on the easiest difficulty and with God mode turned on. So I could just fucking
blast through it.
At that point, it was like, I'm not fucking doing this. One of the other harder ones was every time that you beat a level, you have to purge a boon or you can't move on.
Mm-hmm.
That one was kind of annoying just because it fucked with my build.
Yeah, you're constantly losing like everything that you pretty much get.
Yeah. Other than that, buy 9 Well of Charon items in 1 escaped attempt. So you can find, there's the big shopkeeper Charon where he can sell you like boons and better health and everything. And then you can find this little well where he'll sell you basically consumables. Not really, but it's like for the next 6 rooms, you do 20% more damage.
They're limited.
In one run, you have to buy 9 of them. That wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about really quickly the last couple hard ones, and then I'll give my score of this game.
Yeah.
Here are the ones that kind of made me tear my hair out for a little bit. Using a greater call to evoke an Olympian's aid during a trial against them. So sometimes what you can do is once you've found 2 different boons, randomly you might find a room that's got 2 boons in it. And it'll be the 2 gods you've already talked to. The thing is, you can only pick one of them. And if you do, you're going to piss off the other god.
Right.
And then you have to fight that room as normal while the god is fucking with you. What you have to do is you have to have a summon power. Sometimes one of the boons you'll find is every god has a summon. Like, if you summon Zeus, he'll throw lightning all around the area. If you find Dionysus, he'll throw Hangover, which is his little dot around the area. If you find Poseidon, you can basically come invulnerable and skate on water and bump into people. And how you get power is that when either you get hit or you hit people, you get a little bit of God gauge. The problem is that God gauge resets at the end of every room.
Yeah.
So you have to find a power and then find a trial, but you have to find that trial later on in the game when you're strong enough to last long enough to get that God gauge to top. Because sometimes you'll never make it to the end of the top in a game. The way to cheese that is in Elysium, there are these enemies that are ghosts, and they inhabit swords or shields or bows. And then if you kill them, the ghost pops out. If you don't kill the ghost, they'll just pop out. So what you have to do is basically clear a room and then leave one ghost, let him pop into a body, beat the shit out of him for God gauge, let him pop out, wait, let him pop into a body, beat the shit out of him. And you're doing this, and it's like, oh, that's not hard.
It's just tedious. Yeah.
But the thing, no, it's not. Because while you're doing this, the god that you didn't pick is throwing shit at you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you can still die. So you have to do that long enough to get so that one was really fucking annoying. The other annoying one is there are two tied to trinkets. One is Thanatos' trinket called the Pierce Butterfly. You have to get it to 30% bonus damage. How that works is when you get it, every time you clear a room without taking damage, you get 1%. Eventually, once you upgrade it all the way to 3 stars, once you if you do a room, you get 2%. So you need to do 15 rooms without taking damage. That can be a little annoying just because sometimes they'll throw shit like traps at you. And then the harder one is the Lambent Plume, which is fucking Hermes' one, which is every time you beat a room under a timer that they give you, you get 1% dodge chance. And for this, you need to get to 20% dodge chance. Now, you think with that last one, it's like, oh, you know, if you fully get it up, you'll get 2% dodge chance. You only got to do it 10 times. Now, if you fully get it up, you get 1.2% dodge chance. So instead of doing it 20 times, you only have to do it like, I think, 15 times. And that timer is strict. Those ones were hard.
I could see that.
I think that's it for trophies. I talked a lot about the trophies. I would say this. Before we get that, rank the game as the game player.
I think the gameplay of this game is fantastic. I think this is a game that I will keep playing for a long time. I especially just, I love the genre. And this does what it does very well. It does very well. I would give this game I would give it a 9 out of 10. I don't think it's perfect, but I do think it is getting to that level of like, this is a essential game. This is one of those games that it's rare when they come out. But when they do, you and everyone else should check it out, play it, form your own opinion with it, have your own experience with it, because it is just that good. I'm
going to agree with you on a gameplay aspect. I think a 9 out of 10 is where it goes. I think that it's a game that anyone can play, and with the addition of God mode, even if you're not that good at games, you can at least
you can enjoy it. Like,
you can enjoy it.
Yeah, you can still enjoy what it is.
I think the challenge is fun. I think the game is never not fair. I think that you can learn to play it really well, and you can cheese it, like I said, with certain weapons to make it easier. But if you're not that kind of player, I think God mode is better for you. When it comes to trophies, I'm going to rate it low just because of the sheer amount of RNG that it entails.
That's fair.
I'm not even mad about the grinding, because of the RNG, I had to play so much that when all I had left was that one trophy to get all the keepsakes, out of the 25 keepsakes, I only had to do 3 more. So that turned out to be 75 times 3, whatever. It turned out being, I just needed to do like 6 or 7, or maybe not even less than that, like maybe 5 or 6 runs. Like, I don't care if I live or die. I just need to do rooms. And if I die, who fucking cares? I'll just restart and do more rooms. And so it took me, maybe I'd say like another hour and a half when I was finally done to like platinum it. So that's not bad. But it was only like that because the RNG took so fucking long.
Yeah.
With that in mind, most of these trophies are cool and fun. I'm going to give this game on, not for how much fun it was to platinum, I'm going to give it a 7.
Well, that's really good though. Like, because 7 out of 10 solid.
6 is a little mean.
Yeah, I can see that.
I would maybe even see a 6.5 if we're allowed to do 0.5s. As for difficulty level, I think that depends on if you're going to use God mode or not. If you're not using God mode, this is kind of a hard
tough
game.
Yeah,
I would say it's like a 5 or 6 to platinum. If you put on God mode, though, I bet you this game. Like I said, I only turned on God mode after I was done with the 10 runs, and it made because it was just like at this point, I don't need to beat it. Like beating Hades doesn't get me anything. All I'm trying to do is get these specific fucking lines out of his mouth.
Yeah.
So. Like the only thing I needed to be Hades for after I beat the game was that 16 heat run. But other than that, it was like beating the game is inconsequential. All that matters is making these fuckers say what I want them to say.
Yeah.
So I would say that with God mode, I would say this game is like maybe a 4 out of 10 difficulty. Without God mode, I'd maybe call it a 5 or a 6 because it can be a little challenging. Should you platinum this game? Only if you like roguelites. Honestly, I don't think that this is a game that anyone can just pick up and platinum because of the sheer amount of roguelite you have to do. And also, only if you're okay with copious amounts of grinding.
Yeah, there's a lot of RNG. You're going to be at it for a while. But granted, this is a game that is meant for you to play forever and just over and over and over forever. So especially like if you're going the route that Ryan did here, where it's like, 2 weeks in and out, that's like that blows my mind as someone who's been playing this game for a while. But it's like, if you're trying to grind that platinum, if you really, really like the game, I would say go for it. But even for me, like I very much enjoy the game, and there are even some achievements when I see I'm like, I'm gonna try and hit that. Like the Thanatos one was one that I tried where it's like you got to beat 15 more enemies than him. That was one where I set out and I was like, I want to do this today, and then I did it, and it was great.
That one is also hard, and it's because that's also random. Because sometimes, so randomly, Thanatos will show up in a room and challenge you to a contest where it's like, can you kill more guys than I can? And the thing is, he one shots guys, but he puts a little thing above their head, and it's like a countdown. It's like in 5 seconds, I'm going to one shot this guy. Yeah. So if you can kill that guy first, then you'll get the credit from him. The problem is not every room has enough people that you get. Like some rooms don't even have 15
people. Yeah.
You have to find a room that's got more than 15 people, and then you still have to keep up on them. That one, I feel like the fists are the best shot because you want something where you can just dash around and beat the shit out of people. Be
quick, yeah.
I want to say as far as the 2 weeks in and out, the only I would have actually had this done sooner, but I didn't finish it before I went to PAX.
Right.
So like it probably would have been like
a good week.
Also, I was at like 780 something platinums right when I was like, oh, I'm almost done with this game. So I took a quick break and platinumed like 20 easy games. So I probably would have it done even quicker than that.
Yeah. So
if you put your nose to the grindstone, you could probably platinum this in about a week.
Yeah. Or you could do it like me and just come back to it every couple months, and then you've got something to work towards every.
Some maniac named GVN Thanatos 2 platinumed this game. They have the world record on the PS4 NA version in 3 days and 4 hours.
Holy cow!
From first trophy to last. So, I mean, if you really do nothing but play this game, I'm assuming on God mode, you can
knock it out.
You can bust one out pretty quick. Man, that was I remember how we were like, we don't know how we're going to talk about Hades for a whole episode.
And then here we are.
Talk about Hades for a full episode. What a great game.
It's because it's so good. It really is. Like I
really do want to emphasize you should play this game.
Yeah, it's charming as hell too. Like,
should you platinum this game? Only if you're insane like me.
Yeah.
Or you really love it.
Right. If you really fall into it. Yeah, go on ahead and do the platinum because it's fun and the dialogue's great, the music's great, everything is so good that it will keep you wanting to do more and do more and do more until eventually you'll finish it. But you'll be 50 trophies richer. Yeah, and this game is fucking again. It's great. It's worth your time. Check it out it's on everything, obviously. It's on PS4, PS5. It's on Xbox. Is it on Xbox? Yeah, it's on Game Pass too, so it's free. If you pay for the subscription. Okay, I want to do the opposite of remember where we like said GameFly rules and we like GameFly? Right. We don't like Game Pass here. We don't like Game Pass? Okay. I don't like Xbox. That's fair. Well, I mean, Game Ass. There we go. Game Ass is a competitor. Game Ass. GameFly It is a competitor of GameFly, so you know.
I know you play games on Game Pass. That's how you did fucking Jedi Fallen Order.
Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. Like,
fuck
it is.
Xbox.
It is.
I got my account stolen by that guy in Russia, and they didn't do anything. Did I ever tell you this story, Chris?
Yeah.
Those fuckers. Some guy in Russia stole my gamer tag password and logged in and logged me out and changed it and bought like couple $100 of like Xbox points. Thankfully, I got all my money back.
Well, that's good.
But when I called Xbox support and was like, help me get my stuff back, like, this has been changed from the American zone to the Russian zone, which means this is now an international fraud case. And honestly, they didn't say this, but no, on certain terms, they said, we don't care about enough about you to do an international fraud case. So that is gone and we're never doing anything. When I said, yeah, but I just lost all of my DLC, all of my downloaded games because they were all tied to that account that's no longer on that Xbox, right? It's like I can't play anything that was digital. I can't re-download anything. All of my fucking saves are gone because they're tied to the specific thing, right? So it's like everything's gone. What can you do for me? Do you know what the lady said?
Nothing.
She said, I can give you 300 Microsoft points to buy a new hat for your avatar. Fuck you,
what
Microsoft.
A piece of shit. Honestly, though, like I had a lot of trouble with mine too because I was trying to connect the EA, like, because EA, it works with Game Pass now, so like I wanted that access since I was paying for it.
Yeah,
and it was the biggest fucking hurdle in the world. Like it was to the point where I was like almost just like, I don't care anymore. I don't. You know what? Even though I'm paying for it, I don't want to jump through the hassle. But it took me like 3 hours in a voice chat with a dude over at Microsoft, just being like, look, this is my account. I'm literally logged into it right now on everything, like my computer, my Xbox. I just need you to disconnect the EA that I've tied to it so that I can tie my new account, because I don't remember what that old account was. And I did it back in fucking 2006 for some stupid EA game on like 360. And they were just like, yeah, we can't do that. And I'm like, but I literally have access to my account. I've deactivated the thing. You just have to do it from your end so that I can just re-put the new one. And they were just like, well, what's your email? And I kept telling them every single email. And like, eventually they were like, well, what's your address? And I'm like, well, I moved, like I don't live at this old address, so like can we try a couple different ones, because it's one of 3 different things, because I've only lived in, well, technically 4. I've lived in 4 places in the last 15 years. Well, and it's like, right. And they were just like, nope, you have to get the one and that's it, or else we won't fucking work with you.
Fuck this company.
It was so fucking stupid, because I was like, I literally have access to the account. Here are all my last purchases. Here's like my credit card. I have everything. Like, just let me play your fucking games. And they were just, because eventually what it was is that Hotmail has changed to like just Outlook, you know, and I'm
using a fucking Hotmail.
No. That's the thing, is I changed the email even to like a newer, just like whatever at Outlook, you know?
Yeah.
It's still the same thing. So if you do email that old email address, it still forwards to the new one, because it's technically the same email address. That's how it just works with, you know, the outlet, like, you know, the whole MSN system that it used to be. That's the thing, is that he wanted the old email from when I first signed up the account back in like 2003. And I was like, are you serious? This is literally the same email. If you email me right now at that address, it just is this address now. They're the same address. And he was like, well, that's just not how it works. I'm like, you're like ridiculous. You are Microsoft. How do you guys not? Right. I was like, how do you not know this? I was like, how does this just not work in your system? So yeah, it was a like 3 hours of me just yelling at a guy, because I was just like, it's the same thing. And he's like, well, it's technically not. And I'm like, you are a waste of my time. It was something, but I finally got in and I got my stuff. But since then, it's just been like, oh man, I just don't ever want to deal with Microsoft anymore. Right.
So fuck Game Pass. Game Pass. Yeah, no, we like the other one.
GameFly rules.
Do you have a voice? Let's get the fuck out of here. Do you have a viewer mail?
We do, but let's actually just go on ahead and hold on to it for the next time, because we've got a lot of time right now, and we can just tie this into the next one.
No, I want viewer mail.
You want the viewer mail?
I want viewer mail.
Okay, we do have one. This is from our good friend Jimby. He says, "Hey, Chris and Ryan, have been loving the podcast. Definitely helps pass time on my hour commute to work. Last episode about Final Fantasy 15 made me remember my experience playing that game. I bought it day one for absolutely no reason besides I had the money to and felt great that I could buy a new game at the time."
You wasted your money.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Continue the email.
I came home, popped it in, and played it for like 3 days. And got to about chapter 3, sort of had a good time with it, put it down for a while. Flash forward to when I started college and I moved into my new apartment. All I had was my TV and my Xbox and no internet or anything else for a few days. And Final Fantasy 15 was the only game that I had besides Injustice 2. And I thought, screw it, I'm going to finish that game because I got nothing else to do.
Should have played Injustice 2.
Yeah, you should have played Injustice 2. That's a better. And that's got replayability. But it said it was so mind-numbingly excruciating to go through, and the only form of entertainment I had would have been doing taxes for a few more days, and I would rather go do taxes for a few more days than play this game.
That would have been more productive.
Yeah, so thank you, Jimmy.
Was there a question, or was that just
just sharing an experience? Okay. And but there he does in the email saying, I would also like to request Kingdom Hearts or Metal Gear or an episode on Heavy Rain, which that would be interesting to do. I'm totally down to talk Kingdom Hearts too.
We'll write those. Well, I don't want to talk about it.
You're going to do Kingdom Hearts one day.
I'm not a pervert, so I don't know about Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, Metal Gear would be fun, and I definitely could talk about Heavy Rain. We should do we should just do a David Cage episode. I haven't played. So I have Indigo Prophecy. I haven't played it yet, and I have Beyond, and I haven't played that. But I could talk about Heavy Rain and Detroit.
I could talk about them too. I hate those games.
I love those games.
Oh, I hate them. I play every single one, and I don't know what I expect anytime I go into it.
So good. All right, we're gonna save this for another episode.
Yeah,
we do have another episode in 2 weeks.
We do.
We need a new game for that.
You know,
I picked this game because. Now, here's the thing. Should we let you pick a game? Because the last time you picked a game, you picked fucking Final Fantasy 15.
That's
I don't know
true.
if you're...
That was a fuck up.
No, you know what? I'm going to let you... This is redemption time, Chris. Do or die.
Okay.
What game would we like to talk about next time?
All right. You know, this is kind of another... I know Final Fantasy 15, I wouldn't call it an open world game because half of it isn't. But I want to talk about an open world game.
Okay.
And we all know open world games hit their stride in the third game. So I say, let's strap on our boots. Grab a big old bat that looks like a big old wiener. And let's go knock some heads in Saints Row the Third.
Hell yeah, baby. Saints Row the Third. Do it. That is going to be a good fucking episode. Oh my gosh.
I can't wait.
This has been episode 5 of I Have More Trophies Than You.
Episode 5. Oh my god.
The series isn't over yet. How do you like it so far?
Yeah,
it's good.
Are you enjoying yourself? I'm enjoying myself.
I'm enjoying myself. You know what I enjoy the most about this episode, though?
What do you enjoy?
Is this end part where I get to get real close to the mic. I get to not actually look Chris in the eyes because I can't see them. But Chris, I get to tell you one very important, indisputable fact that makes me so happy and giddy to get to tell you at the end of every episode. Do you know what that fact is?
No, what is that fact?
Oh, Chris. I have more trophies than you.
Oh, man. I'm so... All right, let's get this. Let's do this.
We're not already doing it? I thought we were doing it.
We're doing it.
This is the opening, right?
Yeah, this is the opening.
Yeah, Hey, what's up, Mr. 19.1 coming at you. No, you know what? Hold on. Wait.
See, now this is going to turn into the ending. This is the sneaky ending.
I was going to say we could do that as the opening, or today is the 21st of September. We could do a Earth, Wind, and Fire joke.
Oh, there you go.
But it doesn't come out till the 24th. So, is it ruining it by making a joke that we recorded it on the 21st?
I'll just pipe in.
Are we getting in trouble if you do that?
I mean, are they going to complain at like a 2-second Okay,
hold on. Okay, new opening for the show. Okay, tell me when to start.
Go for it. Hey, thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you'd like to send us questions, gaming memories, comments, or if you just want to know when the next episode's going to drop, then you can follow us on Twitter at MoreTrophiesPod. That's MoreTrophiesPod. That's More Trophies Pod. Also, you can email us at ihavemoretrophiesthanyou@gmail.com. It's just the name of the show, all one word, at gmail.com. Also, be sure to follow Ryan at Dr._Ryan on Twitter. You can also keep up to date with his Monday night Twitch streams office hours at twitch.tv/Dr._Ryan. That's Dr._RYAN. Dr._Ryan on both Twitch and Twitter. And follow Chris on Twitter at Burezu in Japan. Now, I know what you're thinking. Don't worry, I'm going to spell it out for you right now. That's BUREZUINJAPAN. That's all one word, Burezu in Japan on Twitter. And when they are streaming, you can check them out at twitch.tv/BlazeTK. That's BLAZE, the letter T, the letter K on Twitch. BlazeTK. Thank you again so much, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.